O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Picture this. You're looking at a glass egg hanging from the branch of a tree.
Right.
And inside this completely sealed egg, there's an infant riding on the back of a massive black crow.
Wow.
Right. And in its tiny hands, this baby is holding the blazing sun and the glowing moon.
I mean, it definitely sounds like a surrealist fever dream, or maybe something you'd see like painted on the side of a van in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But welcome to the deep dive. We are looking at a really fascinating stack of esoteric and psychological sources today to decode this one wildly specific alchemical image.
Right. And our mission today is to reveal to you how this bizarre tableau isn't just, weird art.
No, not at all.
It is actually a highly precise, functional map for achieving absolute psychological mastery.
So, okay, let's unpack this, starting with the container itself.
Okay. The glass egg. In alchemical texts, this is referred to as the philosophical egg.
Okay.
And the crucial detail here is that it requires a flawless hermetic seal to act as a protected psychological container.
Because the underlying logic is that before any profound transformation can happen, you first need an unbreakable environment, right, to contain the chaos.
Exactly. Because without that seal, the volatile energies of your own unconscious they leak out.
And you get psychic fragmentation.
Yeah, precisely.
It makes me think about the modern necessity of, deep, unbroken focus. Breaking that hermetic seal today looks a lot like picking up your phone every 3 minutes.
Oh, totally.
You completely shatter the pressure cooker of your own concentration.
And the alchemists explicitly warned about that exact kind of a psychic leakage. They argued that if you rush the heat or fail to maintain the boundary, you literally shatter the glass.
And you have to start all over.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of heat, I'm kind of confused about the environment here.
How so?
If alchemy is all about boiling elements, applying heat and pressure, why on earth is this egg dangling from a tree branch? I mean, shouldn't they bury it in the earth or put it in a furnace?
Oh, that's a vital distinction. The tree is the arbor philosophica, the tree of life. By hanging the vessel in the air, the alchemist is intentionally detaching it from heavy terrestrial corruption and earthly influences.
So psychologically, it means you can't force inner growth through pure human ego, like brute force hustle.
Exactly. Hanging from the tree forces submission to slower cosmic rhythms. You have to let the process gestate.
Okay, so assuming we haven't shattered our own glass with impatience and we're letting things gestate, what is actually happening to the old self inside that sealed egg?
Well, it decays.
Yikes.
Yeah, in order to create fertile soil for a new self, the rigid old identity has to rot away. This is the Negrito stage, symbolized by the Caput Corvi, or the dark crow.
Okay, the crow.
Right. The crow represents profound ego death and material putrefaction.
Putrefaction sounds terrifying. Translating that to a modern psychological experience, does that feel like, say, severe burnout or a massive crisis of meaning where your old life just stops working?
That's exactly it. It's hitting a wall where your previous coping mechanisms totally fail.
But here is the detail that blew my mind. The infant inside the egg, which represents the rejuvenated spirit, the new self, is actively riding the crow.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is the sheer psychological brilliance of that specific dynamic. Notice that the infant doesn't slay the bird.
Because if you try to kill your shadow, your trauma, your anger, your dark impulses, you cause neurotic repression, right?
Precisely. You just push the darkness down where it will inevitably poison you later. But the infant isn't eaten by the bird either.
Which would equal total madness.
Exactly.
Instead, it saddles up. To ground this for you listening, this means not ignoring your anxiety or your frustration, but harnessing that raw, dark energy as fuel.
Yeah, if you're furious about your career, you don't repress the anger, but you don't let it turn you into a bitter mess either.
You ride that frustration as a vehicle to force a massive change in your life.
You leverage the raw libido of the shadow to ascend. And by surviving that dark ride, the newly awakened self can finally master the warring forces of human nature.
Which explains the sun and the moon in the baby's hands.
Yes. The sun is the active, rational side, the Red King. The moon is the passive, intuitive side, the White Queen.
And this dynamic is the mysterium conjunctionis, right? The ultimate reconciliation.
Exactly.
So, to pull our deep focus analogy back into this,
Yeah.
the Red King is the hustle. It's sending the emails, building the spreadsheets, taking action.
Right.
But the White Queen is the intuition to step away from the screen, to rest, and to let your subconscious work. And the baby is holding both.
Yeah, it doesn't crush the moon to elevate the sun.
And it doesn't mash them together into some neutralized gray paste. It holds those massive polarities in perfectly balanced tension.
It masters duality.
So what does this all mean?
Well, it means achieving inner sovereignty. True alchemy was never about literally turning lead into physical gold.
Wait, really?
No, it's about becoming the undisputed, unshakable monarch of your own inner microcosm.
Wow. We've seen today how this bizarre image is actually a masterfully coded psychological blueprint. You must seal the vessel, endure the brutal decay of your ego, and balance your inner extremes to forge the ultimate prize yourself.
It fundamentally reframes how you look at the friction and darkness in your own mind.
It really does. So for you listening, think about your own daily stream of information, triggers, and stress as those volatile elements inside an alchemical vessel.
Absolutely.
Are you constantly breaking your own hermetic seal with endless digital distractions? Refusing to let your ideas properly gestate on the tree?